Hello and good afternoon. My name is Ramona Johnson, and today we will be talking about the importance of inclusion in the learning environment. Today's learning outcomes will consist of providing a historical overview of what inclusion is, providing strategies of how to foster inclusion within the classroom, identify relevant scriptural principles and perspectives from a biblical worldview. So, the field of special education has evolved over time, shifting from a model of exclusion and marginalization to one that emphasizes inclusion, individualized approaches, and the recognition of diverse abilities. In addition, the journey towards inclusive education has been a dynamic and multifaceted process, marked by significant milestones, legislative advancements, research breakthroughs, legal precedents, and societal shifts in perception. Today, we will explore the nature and characteristics of some disorders that require special education, delving into their historical context and evolving understanding of these conditions and the changing approaches to education and support. So, let's begin with a little bit of history. In 1933, parents whose children were marginalized and discriminated against formed an advocacy group and fought for quality special education. This resulted in the federal government allocating funds for special education. Several laws were enacted, including Act the Training of Professional Personnel Act in 1959 as a result of the allocation of funds. At this time, the focus was primarily on individuals with intellectual disabilities and sensory impairment, such as blindness and deafness. There were some of the first disorders to be formally recognized, and efforts were made to provide specialized education and support the individual with these conditions. In 1969, Specific Learning Disabilities Act was enacted, giving students with learning disabilities a right to support, including learning disabilities in special education, marked a significant step towards tailoring instructional strategies to address specific learning challenges. In 1975, the Education for All Handicapped Children Act, the EAHCA, which would later be renamed to the IDEA, was a turning point in including various disorders within the special education system. This legislation mandated providing free and appropriate public education to all children with disabilities, thereby broadening the scope of disorders covered by the special education services. At this point, all students should have access to effective strategies for achieving their education. Inclusive education has significantly transformed over the years, and its foundational principles of providing equitable education opportunities for all students. Disorders that require special education encompass a diverse range of conditions that impact individual abilities to participate fully in traditional educational settings. Recognizing and including various disorders in the list of disabilities requiring special education have played a pivotal role in shaping the educational landscape for individuals of diverse needs. And what we have seen transition throughout the year, the ABCs of inclusive education. A, all children, regardless of their ability or disability, learn together in the same age appropriate classroom. B, based on the belief that all children are valued equally and deserve access to the same opportunities. And C, children with disabilities and those without often achieve greater academic gains in an inclusive classroom. So, how do we do this? Everyone fits together in an inclusive classroom. All students learning together. So, in an inclusive classroom, what it should look like is all students would be learning together. We should be giving teachers assistance and support, focusing on abilities, not disabilities. Every person is able to achieve. We need to expand teachers' capacity of learning and understanding this concept. We have to connect with individual learning styles, honoring all of the needs of every student in the classroom so that we can receive a holistic approach to learning. Valuing the other cultures and perspectives is very important. Celebrating diversity and individuality, and also nurturing shared and respect and empathy for all. So now we will talk about some strategies for inclusion. Number one, the use of universal design principles to create accessible classroom. The goal of universal design is to maximize usability by individuals with a wide variety of characteristics, whether we are talking about learning strategies or their physical environment. Universal design operates by a set of principles designed to maximize access to everyone. Number two, use a variety of instructional formats. Each student is different and should be given the opportunity to express their knowledge through different methods that work the best for them. We must remember that principle 2 of universal design theory calls for utilizing multiple means of action to express. All children learn alike. All adults learn alike. Differently. I'm so sorry. But what we should focus on is knowing our students and learning the way they learn. So that way we can individualize our instruction to their needs. 3, ensure that you know what specific needs all students have in order to provide an appropriate learning environment. Know their IEPs, know their 504 plans, so that way you know exactly what it is and how it is they learn and what their IEPs are requiring for them to master and how to help them in that process. Number 4, develop a behavior management plan in order to minimize unneeded stressors. Developing a behavior plan can and will help disrupt interruptions and unexpected outbursts due to being or feeling overwhelmed and lost. So, biblical references. How do we use the Bible to defend inclusion? From a biblical worldview, disorders requiring special education present several important issues and considerations. The Bible teaches us that every individual is created in the image of God and possesses inherent dignity and worth. Genesis 1:27. Therefore, it is crucial to recognize and uphold the equal value of all individuals, including those with disabilities. Scripture repeatedly emphasizes the call for compassion, empathy, and care towards the vulnerable and marginalized, including those with disability. Matthew 25:40, James 1:27. As such, the field of special education should be grounded on a spirit of compassion, aiming to create inclusive and supportive learning environments where students with disorders are treated with love, respect, and understanding. In conclusion, the evolution of inclusive education and the recognition of various disorders within special education have shaped the educational landscape for individuals with diverse needs. Based on this topic, essential questions have been addressed in present times that include how to foster inclusive educational environments, provide tailored support for individual needs, and promote collaboration among educators, parents, and the broader community. From a biblical worldview, this topic raises essential issues related to human dignity, compassion, inclusion, individualized support, and community engagement. The Bible affirms the value and worth of every individual, calling us to love and care for the vulnerable and marginalized. It reminds us to create an inclusive community where individuals with disabilities are recognized and treated respectfully, ensuring equitable practices, equitable access to education, and supporting their unique needs. By integrating these biblical principles and perspectives into special education practices, we can honor God, uplift individuals with disabilities or disorders, and work towards creating an educational system that promotes equal access, inclusion, and a holistic approach. Thank you for your time. I hope this presentation was helpful. Please feel free to contact me with any comments, questions, or concerns. Thank you, and to God be the glory.